with a massive win at UFC 320. You might recognize her, Veronica Hardy. Veronica, how we feeling?
Yeah, I feel good. It's nice to not have your last fight be a loss. It kind of weighs heavy on you. So it's nice that that's changed now.
It's been a while too since you lost before last fight. So I don't know. Was like that win a real big relief? Like how did that loss settle with you? I guess is what I'm asking.
Um, well, it was a difficult one because the loss came uh a large part from me not doing anything, like I didn't show up. I wasn't there till like towards the end of the third round where I started to actually get going and showcase some of my skill set. So that was it was extra heavy, not because it was a loss, because I feel like I'd lost before, so it wasn't like a surprise to me
Sure.
having a loss, it feels horrible, but before I thought if I lost, I would like die or something. Like that kind of like you grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was just due to the fact that it was like I was my own worst enemy. Like my mind had betrayed me during the fight, and to really dig deep into what that was and why I was feeling that way, it was incredibly difficult. And then to basically like you're playing your cards that you're not going to do that again because you don't know until you're actually in there. So it was all of that in one, in the fight that kind of made it heavier.
Well, and I saw you talking this week too. The flip switched, it seemed, and very dominant performance this past time. Have you talked to Brogan at all? I know you said maybe arm snap. I don't know if you've confirmed if she broke her arm or anything.
No, when I look back at it, I just felt like I shouldn't have said that. It was just there was it was like a 10-second clapper, and I had her arm, and I felt like you can hear it. You can
Could have
hear
been
it. I
air or
mean,
something. Sure.
yeah, but I heard like two separate like.
Hmm.
And then as her arm kind of reached over, but I thought her arm was reaching over to tap, but it was reaching over to grab her own arm, and then there we flipped. But I thought the tap came when she came to grab her own arm, if that makes sense, because it had all because of the sound it made. And then when we flipped over, the position's not there anymore. You she's not going to tap then. But I didn't speak to her. Somebody at the press conference said that she left with a sling and stuff. I
Mm.
didn't see her. I didn't see anything, so I didn't have a chance to. You know, we don't like I'm respectful, cool, but we're not like friends.
I get it. I get
I never
it.
talked to her after that much.
Now,
Yeah.
with yourself, I assume all healthy, no major injuries, just a little banged up, maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm like predominantly like all good. I just had a little injury during the camp, that it's kind of still going on. So I'm gonna just keep treating that, and hopefully by the beginning of next year, I'll be ready to go again.
Anything crazy or just lingering MMA BS?
No, it's just like something silly. It's just silly, and but to like it gets in the way. Sometimes you can have an injury that's like really small, but it's something that you need it for everything. So it's just one of those.
Understood. And I'm going to try to keep this interview not super repetitive. I saw you on Ariel and doing other interviews this week, so I'll try to keep it fresh. But you've been asked about this kind of, and I'll ask obviously too, because I know you saw the graphic Home of Fight put out, right? 1-4 before Dan Hardy, 4-1 with Dan Hardy. So the question is, does Dan Hardy really have that magic a touch?
I think so. He really does. Like, I think he's such an awesome coach, and it's honestly a giant shame that he only really coaches me. He has so much to give. Like you've seen his breakdowns. Apart from me,
Yeah.
like it's very clear that he has a mindset for it. He has competed in there, so he can give you insights on the psychology of it, on the training aspect. Like so many, and he's just very incredibly intelligent. There's so many things that he has to give. I'm almost like it's kind of a shame that you're like with me, you're still saying things to me that you said to me like 2 years ago, and I'm stuck here. I kind of wish he had better athletes to make great, but grateful that he spends so much time with me.
That was kind of my next question. Like, I guess as of right now, it is pretty much mainly you. Does he like plan on coaching more people eventually, or just focusing on you?
I think he would like to, I do like I'm with him all day, every day, so I can see the different spikes of joy that he gets, and helping fighters and like being in the gym and fulfilling that type of role is where, and I see that he's just feels at home. He feels very relaxed, comfortable, and he likes it. He likes to push people, um, but I just feel it's a bit difficult because you don't want to teach like full on beginners,
Yeah.
right? Just because it's just so long to get to this part, you kind of just want to adjust, and especially his role and his mind, he just wants to adjust fighters and make them better in a short period of like time. But we don't really have a set gym where they can come, so that's just the part that makes that aspect of it difficult. But I
Yeah.
really think in the future that would be something that he would be great at.
Now, how do you compare a Coach Hardy to a Coach Strickland? Polar opposite, or would they get along in there?
No, they get along really well.
I didn't mean it like that. I was just
Yeah, I mean, like some of the things that Strickland says, Dan's like, well, I can't say that because I'm her husband, but it's like you have like the perfect person to take all the blame for saying all the shit that you want to say. No, they actually they get along great. They work really well together. There's been because Dan always comes to my trainings, and he's always there. He's always keeping a watchful eye, and then also he's there to help me. Like if I forgot something or I didn't really get something that somebody said, he can come back and tell me after. And like he's just been there, and several times he's just been like, why I keep saying? Why don't you listen? If somebody else says it to you, maybe you'll listen. So, in that regard, they get along great.
now. Obviously, the poke and fun on Instagram. Sean's required to coach us now. The picture of the singlet. Was he? Is that actually like a mandatory thing, or is that just you guys having fun? I don't even know if you can speak on that. What can you say?
Bro, seriously? What is more sexist than the fact that his punishment has to be to coach women? Like, how can that be real?
I was I didn't know if the commission was
Just
on
think
some shit
about
or
it
not,
like
man.
that. Yeah, that would be terrible. Like
Okay.
men and women fight on the same card. Like that can't be a punishment.
I was just making sure, clearing the air a little bit. Like
Yeah.
it's like, well, that's kind of crazy.
Man, that got picked up on Yahoo and like a whole bunch of things. I had people legit coaches be like, "Is that true?" I was like, "Bro,
It better not be true, okay?
yeah, it better not be true. That'd be terrible. That'd be a
Well,
horrible look."
well, it was hilarious regardless, and I think even funnier that people thought it could have been true, including myself. So glad to clear that air. And just while we're talking about Sean Strickland, do you think he could be this? Because fans are saying so. You think he could be the kryptonite to Khamzat Chimaev?
He certainly like the way that he approaches wrestling and the way that he approaches the fight gives a lot of people problems. Like people can't deal with his forward pressure or somebody who's just not scared. And although we only see his striking, his like wrestling, like I've seen him in the gym with some tough, big, like Russian guy, like really trying. And he's coaching me while he's gone. He'll be like, "Hey, come here and watch what I do." And they're going as hard as they can because it's Strickland. So he's telling you, "See, I'm whooping your ass." Like that's going on as he's telling me things and defending it. It's like it's extremely underrated, his wrestling, his defense and his offense from his defense. And I think you see a big difference like with Nurmagomedov, Umar
Mhm.
Nurmagomedov, the fact that he not only defended but he went on to an attack and did things of his own, like that is something special. I think it's difficult for Hamza as well to deal with the amount of pressure that he has on. I feel like there's been a giant change in the way that he fights, not due to his skill level. I think if anything, his skills gotten higher, but just due to the possible outcomes of the repercussions of losing or
Yeah.
or not doing something like his are a lot bigger than the rest of us. And I think that will play into a factor. I think Strickland is very intelligent in that regard, and he can play with that as well as including all his wrestling defense and offense. So yeah, it's an interesting matchup.
And you said you're going back to Vegas today, correct?
No, I am in Vegas now.
Oh, you're
I
back
just
already?
went to yeah, I just went to California for a few days, just to
Well,
do nothing.
good. I mean, deserved. But I'm asking about Vegas because I'm just while we're talking about Strickland, I'm wondering if you saw him after he got married. I mean, first time as Mr. Husband Sean Strickland.
No, I didn't. I went into the PI yesterday, but I didn't like see him. I think I might today, because he runs a session on Friday, so I'll probably bump into him.
Oh, the
I
wedding
didn't even know he was
pictures.
getting married. I was just
No one
like,
did.
Wait, what?" I was a bunch of machine guns. But on it, if you're marrying Strickland, like you know what you're getting into.
Oh yeah.
This is like this shouldn't surprise you.
It was awesome, man. It was awesome. And Veronica, talking about you, what could be next? I don't know if your mind's even on that. I'm sure you're still celebrating and taking it easy, but do you have an ideal timeline for when you'd like to get back in there?
Yeah, I would like to get like early next year.
Okay.
I feel like the 11 months off, even though I needed it and I had a lot to get through, it was just uh very long
Yeah.
to go back into a fight after that, like sitting on a loss. It's just really, really long of a time, and that starts to play in your head a bit. And I think just more activity will get more of my skills out without so much overthinking.
Yeah, because the last time we talked was all the way back in New York City. I can't even believe
Mm,
it was that long. Like while I was prepping this interview, I was like, "Holy crap, 11 months."
yeah.
So avoiding that going forward. I know, or at least for now. But I know, London likes to come back March around then. Is that
Yeah,
maybe
that's
something?
actually what I was talking to Dan about yesterday. It's because we were just trying to figure out, like when you'd get matched up, and like for fighters, it's although you can ask, and some people do get put back in there quite quickly. Like other times, you just don't get the opportunity, like it's not necessarily a choice. Like sometimes you just don't get a fight offer because there are so many people in the roster, and like
Yeah.
people are getting like a lot of people are getting signed in the Dana White Contender Series, and more
Mhm.
people are getting added to the roster, and it's like to match everybody, even if you do one event a weekend, and you got male and female, you got all the weight classes. It's hard to get matched sometimes. Um, and yeah, London sounds super cool. I fought there before and it was awesome. And like the crowd was awesome because I remember like fighting there, people like chanting Hardy. That was so cool.
Yeah.
And like, headshot dead. And I was like, oh yeah, I should do that. So like it gives you so much energy. The sometimes other than St. Louis, a lot of people showed up in St. Louis, but
How's it going?
when you're first fight, you kind of there's like nobody there yet. So you don't get like the amped
Giovan's
up,
there.
so yeah. Yeah.
Now, Mora right now is, I think, number 12 or 13 in the ranks. You're sitting
Mhm,
like number 16, 17, right outside the official rankings. Do you
mhm.
have anyone in that top, 10 to 15 range you want to fight, or it doesn't matter? Anybody can get the hands.
It doesn't really matter. It's just about, like getting the opportunity. And
Right.
if the UFC think I'm ready, I think if I would have had a more like a bigger statement of a performance, I would have gotten that opportunity. I don't know if the fact that, it was a decision when I really should have finished the fight. I don't know if that's gonna affect whether I get a ranked opponent or not, but I'll just keep training and getting better.
And it sounds like this is it for you 2025. So 2026, towards the end of the year, you think maybe that's realistic, or at least in your mind, when you'd like to be title contention in that race?
Well, I need to get in the rankings first.
I mean, you get in the rankings, though. It's one more win. You get two more wins on that. I mean, you're right there, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, that's true. But I think I need a bit more than a year's time to prepare. I'm really trying my best to improve as quickly as I can. I think improvements have, not they're not at the speed that I would have liked them to be. But I feel like I have been showing improvements. So maybe like 2 or 3 years, and then I think that would be really the best version of me to get a shot at it because you just don't get that many and you just don't want to get it prematurely. I feel like a lot of my losses were a bit of premature performances that I just didn't understand the sport that much. And now I'm like sitting on those losses and it's just like, oh, if only I didn't have that, all of this would have been much different. But that's just my journey, and I can learn from that and not repeat the same issues.
I think the average age of a champion right now is like 32, 33. So that's probably perfect time, it sounds like, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it's like it's strange. I feel the older I've gotten, the more like I have like muscle on my frame. It's more time for the S&C to develop, but I'm a lot leaner naturally, normally than I feel like when you're 20, 21, 22, you just, hold on to a bit more body fat than you
Yeah.
usually would. And you just find this groove within your own body and you learn how to listen to it. And there's so many great things that come from the experience, but also the development of it all. So yeah, 3 years would be ideal.
Well, before 3 years, UFC
Or before.
322, Weili Zhang and Valentina Shevchenko are throwing down. I'm wondering, how do you think Zhang actually translates moving up a weight class, and how do you see the fight going?
Man, I think this is I am so excited when that fight got matched up. Uh I know like Natalia Silva wanted the next shot and stuff, but like just for this to happen, it's so incredible. And as well,
Yeah.
because like, yes, Whaley's moving up, but Whaley's really big for the division. Like she's
Mm-hmm.
massively compact and like muscular. And Shevchenko is not at all a weight bully. She's
Yeah.
she's small. Not like small, but she's not massive. We saw her against Manon Fiorot, like trying to she's just like so much wider than her. So like in that, I don't feel like the weight difference is going to play as much of a factor just because of them two as an individual. Like you have somebody that's really big and you have somebody that's not as big for the division. So I think that with the power, especially the explosivity that Weili has, is going to give Valentina issues. Valentina's an incredibly intelligent fighter, and she finds ways to win. And I don't know, man. I'm just so happy that it's happening. And Whaley's been calling for it for a while.
Yeah.
I remember
Years.
her campaign years, like her campaigning it and Valentina being like, chill out, how about you defend your belt first? And then you had the thing with Rose that kind of derailed her, but the way she's been able to come back from things and just shown constant improvement is something that is scary about. I think out of everything, that's the scariest part of Whaley.
Only women's fight I'm more excited for, and it's gonna probably be a while. Sounds like the White House, but Amanda Nunes, Kayla Harrison. Whoo! Wh- Who do you
Yeah.
who do you think takes that one?
Mm. You just don't know how Amanda has been like with the time off. And like that's a big factor. It can be positive. She could have needed a break because like, man, when you're the champion, it's just like media and like everything like pulls you in a million different directions, and it takes so much to stay focused. And then you don't want to lose, and then all these things start to happen. Amanda Nunes always went out and was really aggressive, but I think that she was like kind of tired of it, right?
Yeah.
And um, it's just there's a striking difference so high, like, to favor Nunes. That's the only part that I'm like, oh, if she can do a lot of footwork and move around, it's going to be difficult for Kayla to take her down. At least she can survive. But the systems, and especially with the elbows that Kayla has on top, is
Oh yeah.
scary, man. I just wish the fight was at 145. Like,
It would
let's just
help
get the
everybody.
yeah, let's just get the best out of both of the like, why freaking boil them down to nothing? And then their whole training camps is they did enough steady states. Like, let them be as great as they want to be, you know?
Yeah, totally
But
agree. They're both natural 145ers, but hey, if we
there's
get the
just
fight,
they're big, man. They're big. And the thing is, sorry, go a tiny bit of a rant. There's a lot of really big women that are extremely skilled that don't have the opportunity because the 145 division came up for like 3 seconds. And then when women are like, okay, like imagine all the women that do rugby that are big and strong and want to
tons.
take your head off. Like they don't even get into the sport because they see the highest weight class they can do is 135 and they're like, F that, I ain't doing that. I can't do
Yeah.
that. So like just give the sport a little bit of time to develop in the 145 area. And I think you were gonna get some crazy fights.
I think 145 and flip it back to atom weight at 105. I think they could
Mm.
both be great additions to the roster. Maybe someday. Yeah, I mean, you guys keep kicking ass like you do. It's hard to deny you ladies. So we love it. Veronica, before I get you out of here, one more. I don't know if it's a question as much, but I am curious. I'm going to show you a picture.
Oh,
Were you,
no.
as the young kids say, were you aura farming here, or was this natural?
No, that was very natural. I
That's a
think it was
badass picture, Veronica.
yeah. Oh, thank you.
Oh, of course, I'll take it off the screen.
I'm like, I realize that sometimes well, there was this really nice photographer that came over to the PI, Cianji was her name. She does a lot with Diego Lopez and Alex Agrasso and stuff. And she was there and she took some photos and then she sent them to me. And I was kind of surprised, like, oh, is that what I look like? Like during training? That looks
Yes.
me.
Yes, you look
Yeah.
like that. You're an
Yeah,
MMA
it's
UFC
kind of
fighter. It's
surprising
scary.
me sometimes.
Well, hey, it showed and it worked, UFC 320, and hopefully we get you back soon. Veronica, before I get you out of here, anything you want to say to all your fans around the world?
Just thank you so much for the support. I know my career has been very rocky. It's been a lot of big roller coaster, but you guys give me so much motivation to keep going, to fix things, to like not give up on myself, for things not to be the end of the story. So thank you. It's made my life better.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Let's let her celebrate for a while, but hopefully fight news coming early 2026. Veronica Hardy, thank you so much and be well.
Thank you.